From Washington, this is VOA News. President Obama offers Oklahoma tornado victims prayers and aid. Burma's president ends U.S. visit with a trade deal. I'm Ray Kouguell reporting from Washington. More stormy weather has been interfering with rescue efforts in Moore, Oklahoma, the day after a huge tornado destroyed large parts of the central U.S. town. Moore's fire chief says emergency workers will not stop searching for survivors, saying they'll go through the rubble of each building at least 3 times. Monday's tornado killed 24 people and injured 240. It was a large and powerful storm, measuring as an F4 on a scale of 5. Top measured winds hit about 320 kilometers per hour. President Obama declared a major disaster in Oklahoma, and he's ordered the Federal Emergency Management Agency to provide any assistance the state needs.
The people of Moore should know that their country will remain on the ground, there for them, beside them, as long as it takes. For their homes and schools to rebuild, businesses and hospitals to reopen, their parents to console, first responders to comfort, and, of course, frightened children who will need our continued love and attention.
Moore is a suburb of the state capital, Oklahoma City. Iraq Shiite Prime Minister Uri al-Maliki is ordering a shakeup of senior government security officers as a weeks-long wave of violence grips the country and fears of all-out sectarian war spread. The move comes as authorities report at least 21 deaths on Tuesday in attacks that included a car bombing at a Sunni mosque. That bombing killed at least 8 people and wounded 20. Earlier Tuesday, at least 12 people were killed in attacks in 3 Iraqi cities. Iran says a conservative body is barring 2 prominent figures from competing in next month's presidential election. Moderate former President Hashemi Rafsanjani and a leading conservative ally to current President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. The Iranian Interior Ministry says the Guardian Council of Clerics and Jurists excluded the 2 from a final list of 8 candidates approved for the June 14th vote. A Guardian Council spokesman says the body would exclude any candidate deemed physically too weak to do the president's job. Many observers view that as a reference to Mr. Rafsanjani, who is 78. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry meets Wednesday in the Jordanian capital with senior diplomats from 11 nations. It's all part of a U.S.-Russian push to end Syria's civil war. Secretary Kerry will address the Friends of Syria grouping, which backs the Syrian opposition, in order to build consensus for an international peace conference that organizers want to convene next month in Geneva. Burma's President Thein Sein ended a landmark visit to Washington by securing a trade agreement with the Obama administration. The Trade and Investment Framework Agreement calls for the U.S. and Burma to identify business initiatives that support ongoing Burmese reforms and development projects that benefit the Burmese people, including the poorest. Soldiers clashed with rebels for a second day in a row in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Fighting Tuesday between the Army and rebel group M23 was again centered about 12 kilometers north of the city of Goma. A DRC government spokesman says 15 rebels and 4 Army soldiers were killed in the fighting. United Nations agencies are mounting emergency operations to contain an epidemic of measles in the Central African Republic. Lisa Schlein reports.
The recent rebellion against the former regime of Francois Bozize in the Central African Republic is taking a heavy toll on children. Last month, 8 children tested positive for measles in the capital, Bangui, raising alarm at the possibility of the spread of this killer disease. The UN Children's Fund says months of extreme violence and the collapse of law and order in the country has led to a breakdown of basic services and increased the risk of disease outbreaks in the Central African Republic. Even before the country became engulfed in fighting, only 62% of CAR's children were vaccinated for measles. Lisa Schlein for VOA News, Geneva.
A new United Nations report says AIDS-related deaths in Africa are falling, while the number of Africans getting treatment for the AIDS virus is on the rise. I'm Ray Kouguell, VOA News. Details on these and other stories on our website at voanews.com.